All right, so as far as filters, do this. That's done.
I really want to do the experiment though.
What's the experiment?
I got some sawdust here. And sawdust is typically thicker than your average dust in your house. And so I got that coil. I want to just put the coil on the table, spray the sawdust through the filter and see what happens.
Keep.
Let's see. Got a coil right here. Coil. I'll put my half on there. Put your half on. Let's see this half. There we go. That's about half. So go like this and go like this. And since we don't have like a leaf blower or anything, I just want to see if we can get any to go onto the coil through the filter. Let's get this off the edge because that's not fun. Okay. Oh shit! Yeah, yours is just going right through.
I think I'm just raining.
Yeah.
Nothing's coming out on my side, but you are.
Mike's is coming all along here too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was mine
Yeah,
blowing over there.
Yeah.
That doesn't do nothing.
Wind was blowing it, but yeah, definitely
That's
the mesh
filtering.
filter let 100% more
Well,
through.
that's a little bit, but not.
Yeah.
Oh look!
Not,
Oh look!
yeah, I got nothing left on here.
Yeah, you just got the
Other
bigger
than-
Yeah,
chunks.
look at how much I kept and
There
how
we go.
much you kept.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're filtering real well there. Not gonna be able to do much of anything. Look at all that. It just gets right up in that coil. And it gets stuck in these. And you gotta hire one of us to come clean it out.
You try to fix all the
Right
fins
in
you
there.
bent trying to get it out yourself.
Yeah, this one's been in my truck for a while.
Yeah.
This is just a. Do we even think that this is worth it?
No, wouldn't suggest this to anybody, and anybody that does have these, I suggest that they immediately replace them with that.
Yes. Yes. This will filter. Now, MERV rating. This is, I don't even know if that's even listed on MERV rating. Does it say?
I don't think
It's like MERV 1.
Yeah.
It's like MERV nothing.
I don't see a MERV
because
rating.
We just saw it, just get the stuff right there. This is MERV 8. The higher the MERV rating, the more filtration it'll do, but there is a caveat to that. The more restriction you put on your air handler, the less air gets past your coil. So each unit tends to have a recommended MERV rating, the highest MERV rating that you can go for your unit. During COVID, people started jumping to like MERV, I don't know, 14, 16. I mean, they were jumping real high on those MERV, which was causing a lot of, they were just throwing them in without doing the research to see what needs to be done with that. Do you have to increase the fan speed? Do we have to, do this, that, or the other thing with the unit? Each unit that can take the higher MERV rating will tell you what you have to do for those more efficient filters.
That's
But
if the system
can
can
take
support it.
yeah, because a lot of systems MERV 10 is the highest. Older systems MERV 8s.
Got some
A lot
sawdust
of
here.
the, yeah, I did. A lot of, because his shit didn't filter nothing. A lot of these filters, they're called pleated and non-pleated, or just disposable.
Or mesh.
Or mesh. Yeah, this one has a whole bunch of names. One of them's god awful. But these mesh, the mesh versus the pleated is going to filter a lot more. Most units can handle MERV 8, no problem. A lot of them, newer units, are MERV 10 rating. Some of the newer units in residential will go up to MERV 16 at the highest, but for the most part, a lot of times what they'll say is, hey, instead of increasing the MERV unit, or instead of putting in the same filter, the small filter here, Mike prefers what, Mike?
The 4-inch thick filters.
Oh, the doubles.
Yeah, so it's same style as these kind of filter. They're just much thicker, and the material that's inside to actually do the filtering, it gets larger sweeps, and there's more surface area for it to pick up debris and to allow air to pass through.
Yeah.
So you can sometimes get away with using a higher MERV rated filter on a system that's not rated for it if you're using a thicker filter.
Yeah, you're using a wider filter. And the benefit of using the difference between a 1-inch, a 2-inch, and a 4-inch The benefit is 1 inch and relatively 2 inch, depending on your situation. Filters should be replaced, once every 3 months on average. Everyone's house is going to be different as to how much traffic you have in the house. A vacation home might even use a 1 inch filter and replace it once a year. If you have dogs in your house, dogs
Pets
put
in general.
Pets in general, a lot of dander and hair. You're going to be replacing these once a month.
I have in my house a 4-inch filter. I have 3 cats. Those 4-inch filters are supposed to last a year at most. I can maybe get 6 months out of it.
Yeah.
And
They just get dirtier.
Yeah, they get dirtier with the cats.
For
the
us,
dogs.
And if I had one of these, I'd be replacing it. Yeah,
Every 3
couple
weeks.
weeks.
yep.
Every couple of weeks, it's just you're miserable. But those are the main differences. Like I said, higher MERV rating, more filtration. Lower MERV rating absolutely does nothing.
Yep. Your ideal
more-
standard is going to be the
more
Mermaid.
filtration,
MERV 8
but
and
also
MERV 10.
more air restriction.
Yeah.
I prefer to look at what the unit can do. You just look up the model number, you search, say, hey, what is recommended for this, what MERV rating filter is recommended for this unit. Certain units will not put that out because they are considered design build units. Because your MERV rating that you've done, if you did a load calculation, if you did extra work to get the specifics of what your house needs, it's going to have in that load calculation what rated filter, what MERV rating filter and what size that it's using. For the most part, that is why it's always a safe bet. MERV 8, push it to MERV 10 if you can. What you do is you just put the MERV 10 in there. And you see, okay, is my coil icing up? Am I getting enough cool air? Is it satisfying on the hot days? If it's not, go back down to
filter
MERV 8.
caving in?
Yeah, is the filter caving in? Well, a lot of these, because they have the metal wire on the back, it prevents them from caving in, because eventually you will get enough debris on this. You're filtering enough that it will cave in. You probably will never do it with
Can you
that.
tell them about the light test?
Oh yeah, the light test. Good way of checking to see if you're getting air through your filter. If you put it up to the light, I don't know if there's enough light to see it, but if you put it up to the light and you can see light go through, if light can get through, air can get through.
Yep.
That one will always have light going through it,
Yep.
because you could actually see Mike through it.
Yeah, it's just a nice little photo frame.
I'm
Little
done.
foggy photo frame. Yep.
Use that to
But-
blur out his face when he doesn't want to.
But yeah, on a pleated filter, if you do the light test, you hold it up to natural light or a nice bright indoor light, and you can see the light through the filter, you're good. If there's dark spots, dark patches, or the whole thing is dark, then you know it's time to replace that filter.
Yeah, those are the best. But it's always better to replace your filters more often than
Like on a schedule.
On a schedule.
Yeah.
That way, you keep that, because your coil is what the problem is. Your coil is where if you get too much dirt in that coil, it's going to cause so many issues. That's this stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
See,
You
all
do
these
not-
little fins will catch that. And you need air to go through this for the refrigerant to absorb the heat and put it, give you cool air. If you don't have air going through this, it can't absorb the heat. And because it can't absorb the heat, this starts icing up. It gets colder and colder and colder, and you're not getting anything on the back end because you're not getting any air through it. And then this thing's ice up, you get a big ice cake on there, and you call a tech, and he's going to come out, and he's going to clean this thing. And it's a long, tedious thing on your indoor, because we can't take a hose to your indoor unit and just spray this thing down. We got to take a brush, we got to brush it out, we'll take a thin comb, make sure we get good airflow through it. But we have on micro channel, it's a lot more difficult. We can't use a thin comb, and the brushes don't really work that well. We try to use CO2 or nitrogen to blow them out, but even that, if it's gotten too big of a deal, we've actually had to pull a coil and take it outside, close it off so we don't get any moisture in the system, and just hose it down. And man, that was a lot. I mean, it didn't even look that dirty until we sprayed into it, huh?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would have shown up to that for a maintenance and,
Not noticed.
Not even noticed.
well, yeah, and just not thought much about that coil
Give
being
a-
very dirty.
Friend heading
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, immediately.
Well, that doesn't.
Yeah, it didn't visually look dirty, and there's no real way to check unless I was sit there and shine a light through
Yeah.
all sections and make
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, we could tell that they weren't getting a good split across the coil, and so we originally thought, okay, let's see if it's a charge issue. We saw that we have, good subcooling, and so we knew that the charge was good, or at least at that moment, and then we looked through the coil. I was like, oh man, this thing is so dirty, and we can't get it in because it is jam packed inside. So someone had been going there and brushing that coil or cleaning the surface of the coil, but not actually getting that debris out of it. And they weren't using the proper filters, so eventually that thing just got so clogged that it needed to be ripped out, and that was a good half a day's worth of work.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, this piece of advice I can give to any customer is if you're calling about a icing up coil or a water problem in your indoor unit, don't run it when your tech's on the way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just try not to run your system.
Yeah, defrosting that coil is kind of critical on certain times. Sometimes the actual how it's forming tells us, especially if it's an intermittent problem.
Yeah.
The how that ice is forming tells us where to look. If it's icing up before the TXV, and I'll show you. I have an old TXV. You have your in and out. In is this
Hold it up
side.
here so that they can see.
In is this side, out is this side. Sensing bulb. This normally has a bulb on there, but I cut it out and then equalize the line. So this bulb. The bulb here connects to the power head, and the power head is what opens the cylinder. And if it's icing up right out of here, that's one of two things. Either this bulb is bad and it's not opening it up enough, or we have a restriction in here. And that's if we make sure we have enough charge. First things first is always make sure that there's enough charge. If there's enough charge and this is icing up, you either have a restriction in here or this bulb isn't opening the valve. It's just not feeding. But if it's icing up here as opposed to icing up on your distributor tubes, you can kind of tell, okay, icing up here, bulb. Icing at the distributor, restriction. And there's a little filter right there. If it's icing up like on that coil, it could be a restriction, just a plain restriction. So many different reasons why your system can ice up. But the things that you can do at home, the things that you can do so you don't have to call us out first is change your filter, because your filter might be clogged. Not enough airflow, filter could be clogged. Let's go ahead and do that. Second, make sure your actual fan's actually running. Is it actually spinning? Is it running? I mean, you're going to call us out anyways, but the more information you give us, the quicker we can get to the diagnostics and get you a solution. The other things, other than the coil being that is, again, restrictions, airflow, and low gas. Those are the three causes of icing up your coil. So I think at home, the more you know, the more my customers know about this system, the easier it is for me. You call me up, say, hey, my coil's iced up, it's icing up at this point, or starting to ice up at this point. I can come in and be like, all right, I know exactly what, I already have a plan in my mind of where I'm going to check, what I'm going to confirm, and how to get this going. So I'm not sitting there for an hour of diagnostics. I get right into the repair, But if they go, hey, I got a coil iced up, and I go, hey, change your filter. Oh, no, I haven't changed it, since I've lived here. Why don't you pull that filter out and just turn it off, let it defrost, and run it, and see how long it takes for it to ice out. And I tend not to get a call back. So that's when you go, okay, yeah, we need to change your filters, and make sure that we don't have calls that...
Big old snapping turtle floating right out there, just past the fountain.
Oh, yeah. Chilling in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there's one right there, too.
Oh, there is. Look at that. There's so many turtles in this pond. Snapping turtles. All of them.
You
Yeah, I'm
still
not,
need to fish that out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
got a
we
lot
need
of
to fish
lot
that
of fishing to do, a lot of turtling to do.
you know. So,
Oh, look, there's another big one right there. It's a completely different one. Oh, now he's down. All right, okay, enough distraction. Sorry,
I think
guys.
they're moving that fountain.
They're just spinning in circles, making the fountain spin.
Uh,
All right, any other filter tips, tricks, information?
Mike,
Did we cover all the bases?
No, I think we covered it all.
Awesome. Well, thanks
filter
for
is key.
giving all that info. For anybody in our area, that sign back there has got our phone number, 423-545-9062, and the Facebook page is on there as well. You can find us on Google and call us when you're ready. We'll get you taken care of.